Welcome to Build Your Maverick Business, the podcast for underdog, outlier, and renegade entrepreneurs. Brought to you by Strange Creative Studio. If you dream of going off on your own and launching your rebel empire, but don't know where to start, you're in the right place. We'll teach you how to use mindset, branding, and practical advice to build a killer business and transform your world. And now, here's your host, founder of Strange, Alex Pitt.
All right, you lot, how's it going? Confession time, this is my second attempt at recording this. I did like a full 15 minutes of audio and then realised I was not going to fit everything I wanted to say into one episode. So I was just like, do you know what? Let's give this another go. I know I do play it fast and loose with the planning, but I do also want to make sure that I'm bringing you the best content, my dears. So let's start again. Now, it feels weird to tell this story again, but I've just gotten back from Glastonbury, the Glastonbury Festival. I am shattered. My poor legs, I think we were averaging about 30,000 steps a day. So, yeah, I'm a little bit stiff, not going to lie. But had the best time ever. Had an absolutely fantastic time. Watched Elton John, cried 3 songs in, and then, yeah, that was kind of the floodgates open then. But no, it was an absolutely brilliant time. Now, I'm not going to go on too much about that because I have lots of things to share with you. Like I say, this was meant to just be one episode, but it's going to have to be a 2-parter. That's because when I started talking on the last recording, I was like, oh, actually, there's lots that goes into this. I thought I could make it really simple, but I'm already rambling. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about is a few simple steps to take if you are not fucking selling anything, all right? Now, this is such a rite of passage when you first start a business. Everyone, unless they have a fair amount of experience working in other businesses and they are just emanating what they have learnt, if you are going in blind and you're very new to this whole running a business thing, then this part is going to throw you because you do what everyone does. You do what I've done in the past. You go by the build it and they will come model. Okay, now that's not a thing. You do not just set yourself up with your product or your service and think that people will come running and you will move to the Bahamas. I wish I could tell you that that's a thing. I wish that I could tell you that I'm recording this from a beach with a margarita in hand. No, I've got a slightly cold coffee and I'm sat in my flat. Now, the good news is that there are some easy fixes, not so much easy fixes, but easy ways that you can identify the problem. Okay. And what I'm basing these on is a lot of research, a lot of data points, because I talk to a lot of people who are starting businesses, funnily enough. And I see a lot of people who are doing the same thing, making the same mistakes, and they are really confused. And unfortunately, and this is something that I'm trying to work against, unfortunately, because it tends to be in a wider audience, a lot of people then jump in and say, hey, if you just give me loads of money, I can fix all of that for you. And it's like, how about just try these few things first, okay? Just try these few things first. So this is where we are now, okay? After a little bit of rambling from my side, this is what I want to help you out with today. These are the most common mistakes that I see people made. Now, when I say they are common, they are everywhere. So don't feel bad if any of these sound familiar, okay? We are never mean to ourselves when it comes to business. If you have found yourself in that situation where you built something you're really proud of and it's just not shifting, have a think about these. I've got 6 things for you to think about. We're going to do 3 this week. We're going to do 3 next week. And hopefully then we can fit it all in. I'm not about to start doing episodes that go over like 15, 20 minutes. That's not what you expect from me these days, all right? Right, so here we go. This one sounds so simple, but my God, do so many people get it wrong, okay? So number 1 mistake that people make, their audience do not immediately understand what they're buying. Now, depending on where you're selling from, right? This could be on your website, this could be on your Instagram, wherever. But I'm going to use website as an example because this is the most common one. Now, if someone lands on your website and they do not understand within about 5 seconds what it is that you have to offer them, they are going to bounce off. They're going to give up. They're going to go back to scrolling through cat memes. We as human beings are extremely fickle. We're quite lazy and we're very impatient. We are bombarded with messaging, with marketing, with stimulants everywhere. If you are not capturing them in a split second, you've lost them. So your audience needs to immediately, I've written immediately in capitals in my notes, they need to immediately understand what it is you're offering so they can decide whether or not it's something they want. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of examples of where I've seen people get this very wrong. One with a product-based business and one with a service-based business, okay? So number one, product-based business. Now, this is a wonderful, very sweet woman who was asking for advice in one of the networks that I'm in. She said, I've put together this website. It's been up for about a month now. Nobody's bought anything. Can anybody give me some feedback on what I've done wrong? So I had a little look at the website. Immediately, as soon as I landed on this website, my brain wanted to explode. There was so much going on. It was just product after product after product with no categorization, with no kind of explanation about what the business was doing as a whole. It was just brain fart. I was like, no, too much. Now, I sort of touched on this in a previous episode in building a story brand, right? This is the kind of framework of how to structure your website, which makes it really, 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 really easy for people to just get why your thing is brilliant, okay? Because the thing is, your product or service is probably fantastic. It's just letting people know in the simplest way why it's so great and what to expect and why they should buy from you. And you can do all of this very simply if you just make sure you follow some simple steps. Now, the absolute first one, go back and listen to how to build a story brand if you want to go into a bit more detail about how to structure your website. And I am actually putting together some resources to make this a little bit easier and more straightforward to follow. So keep an eye out for that. I will be letting you know when those are ready. But the one thing that I went back to this woman and said about her website is that she needed to have just one banner, one image banner at the top of her website that was her customer, the kind of person that she wanted to sell to, interacting with a product that best represents the kind of thing that she's selling. And over the top of that banner, she needed to have one sentence which summed up what her business sells. Now, I got over myself when I was looking through this website. I got over the brain chaos, had a little scroll through, and she was selling homewares and pet accessories is how I'd sum it up, right? They were quite quirky, they were quite out there, but that was essentially what she was selling. It took me a bit of research to work that out because I was trying to help her. Your average Joe customer is not going to do that. They just want to know as soon as they land on your website what they're in for. What's this? What am I looking at? What are you going to sell me? If they do not immediately know that when they land on your website, big red flag. Okay, so that is product-based business mistake, not immediately telling people, in a nutshell, the sorts of things that you sell. Now, when it comes to service-based businesses, I actually see it happen more commonly in these groups, which is bizarre, really, because a lot of the people that I speak to who offer service-based businesses have been going for decades. They've been offering the thing that they do for a really long time. In many cases, they've worked for huge tech giants. They've worked for massive corporations that everyone knows, and they've been paid insane salaries. They do not know how to communicate what it is they do for a living. And it's a real shame because they're obviously very, very talented. They've got lovely personalities. They're great fun to have a chat with. And I would love to recommend them. I'd love to do a bit of outside networking for them and put them in touch with people that I think they could help. But I don't know what the fuck they do. So being able to sum up what's called your value proposition, right? What is it that you can offer that is going to help people to get over a problem that they have? Okay, you can help them in some way. How are you helping them? Now distill that down, sieve out the bollocks, and work out in one sentence, just like at the top of the product-based businesses, what it is that you do. How would you describe it if you're at a networking event and you have to tell someone really quickly, Oh, so what do you do for a living? I do X, Y, and Z, or I help these people to solve this problem. Now, I know that this all sounds quite simplified, and I know that what you're offering is going to be much, much broader than one sentence at the top of a website or one sentence that you churn out at a networking event. I know that that's the case, but it's all about getting people's attention as fast as possible. Okay, so make sure that your audience immediately understands what it is that you are selling and why they want this thing. Now, number 2, are you making it really hard for your audience to buy from you? Now, when I say, are you making it really hard for them, I mean a shit checkout, a shit customer experience, any sort of barrier that is going to stop them in their journey from, ooh, interesting, I want to buy this thing, to it being in their hand or in their inbox. Now, there's lots of ways that people do this. The number one is just any level of shit checkout process, okay? So, for example, can you think of a time where you've gone to buy something when you suddenly see, like, I always get adverts for these, like, eyelash serums, and I'm like, ooh, mama, I want it. And you get to the checkout process, and it's like, enter your first name, last name, email address, postcode, make a login, enter your credit card number, what's the billing address? Oh, no, I've given up. Nope, you've lost me. Now, there is lots of easy fixes for this sort of thing, right? There's Apple Pay, there's Google Pay, there's PayPal. There's all of these ways that you can make that checkout process really easy. Before you even get to that, like, how easy is it for people to find the product that they're looking for specifically? So if I go onto a website like the one I was talking about earlier that sells pet accessories, and I want to find a dog lead, do I have to scroll through hundreds and hundreds of products to find a dog lead? Or is everything really nicely categorized in bestsellers, toys, leashes and harnesses, comedy outfits? You know, if somebody knows what they want to buy, take them the easiest fucking route to that thing being in their hand. Every single barrier to entry, every single little frustration that they find, they're just going to drop off and they're not going to buy from you. This whole podcast is turning into a rant about how people are really, really fickle and a bit shit. And I can say that because I'm people, all right? All I'm saying is make everything as easy for them as possible. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, and to be fair, I probably should have put this one in first, but it is me. I'm not exactly the most strategic planner. So number 3, your audience can't find you in the fucking first place. Now, there are some amazing businesses out there. There are some people doing some fantastic fucking work and producing some lovely products. But they are the best kept secret on the internet. Now, marketing in general is just making sure that people know what you're selling. All right, it's getting in front of the people who are potentially going to want to buy from you and letting them know why they should buy from you. Showing off a little bit. Peacock. Say, hey, look how great I am. If you just put up a website and then sit in your PJs waiting for the money to roll in, I hate to break it to you, my loves. Don't work like that. It just doesn't work like that. The good news is there's lots of ways that you can make sure that you're getting in front of the right people. Now, this could be a whole series in itself. And like I say, I'm putting together all kinds of resources for you at the moment, dears, to take you a little bit further than just my 15-minute sweary ramblings every week. But do some research into SEO, okay? Search engine optimization, just in case you don't know what that is. Get yourself on some marketplaces if you're selling homemade goods, okay? Get on the Etsy's. Make sure you're getting down to some markets where there are people who are going to want to buy crafts. Promote yourself in Facebook groups where your ideal clients are hanging out, all right? Like I say, don't try and sell to everyone. Just work out the kind of personas of the people that are going to want to buy from you. Work out where they're spending their time. What are they looking at on their phones while they're on the toilet? Where are they going to be? And how can you get in front of them and present yourself in such a way that they're just going to want to buy? So don't be the best kept secret on the internet. All right. They need to be able to find you, and you need to make sure that you are actively and consistently putting yourself, your products, your services out there. All right. So that's only 3. And according to my recording timer, I've been talking for quite some time. So I'm so glad I made this into a 2-parter. I will be back with you next week with another 3 tips on how to sell your stuff. All right, we don't want any more tumbleweed. We want some money in the bank for you. So join me here next time. And in the meantime, have a wonderful rest of your week. See you later, darlings.
Got an idea for a maverick business of your own? Learn how to build a powerful brand that will get people obsessed with our online program, not just a pretty logo. You'll learn a simple step-by-step framework that will kickstart your killer brand and help you find your raving fan base. Find out more today at strangecreativestudio.com.